nothing to lose because you don't. And when you realize that, that's when you make the decision that you're going to play your best. Because if you don't have it tomorrow. You don't get another 48 minutes. That's what we're here for. The pride, the tradition, the family. Yeah, about the guys in this room. Nothing else. 48 minutes for everybody who's here. Do you understand me?
Yes, Coach.
Do you understand me?
Yes, Coach.
Welcome back to It's Titles. I'm your host, DDP, a.k.a. Nino Brown, and you're watching the 51st episode of P2P, Pots of the Playoffs, with Boomer and DDP. Unfortunately, my co-host is on a golfing trip this weekend in Texas, so hope he's swinging away, catching them birdies. But we're going to be breaking down Penn State Nittany Lions. But real quick before that, we're going to hit you with a couple weekly headlines. Just want to throw out there that Georgia hires former Texas A&M offensive coordinator Darrell Dickey and former Clemson OC Brandon Streeter as analysts to their team. I guess as the saying goes, the rich get richer. I mean, Dickey had the A&M program ranked 4th at one time when he was there with the Aggies. He also molded and helped produce the product of what we call Kellen Mond. Now, granted, Kellen Mond isn't a superstar QB, but he has been in the NFL for a few years and is still there. And then we all know about Streeter. Streeter caught the axe for Dabo Swinney. But Streeter had pedigree at Clemson. He was a QB there, played there. Their offense pretty decent. Statistically, they were pretty decent. But like I said, someone had to be the fall guy, and Streeter took the axe. But, seems like he landed in a good spot, national champions back-to-back, trying to make it a three-peat. So just something I want to throw out there for you. Another, couple tidbits I want to throw out there. Pro Day highlights. These four gentlemen just, in case you weren't aware, just want to throw them out there. Tank Bigsby runs a 4.43 40. FAMU wide receiver Xavier Smith runs a 4.38 40. Wide receiver Dylan Bell dominates at the Pro Day. Many people had said for Georgia that he was the best player on the field, which is wild because all season we really didn't hear too much about him. And then linebacker out of Michigan State, Ben Van Summeren runs a 4.4 40. Had a 10 for 11 broad jump and 42.5-inch vertical leap. This guy was just an absolute freak Pro Day. So, this would have put him up the top measurables with the linebackers at the combine. Just another gentleman I want to put the name in the back of your head. Look out for him when it comes draft day. But let's get into these Nittany Lions. They were 11-2 last season under head coach James Franklin. Now, James Franklin's been head coach in college football for 12 years. He's got a overall record of 102-51. That's 66% win percentage. In 11 bowl games, he's 6-5, 54.5% win percentage. It's not the greatest. It's mediocre, 50-50. So we understand how it is. But Franklin was regarded as a top 5 coach in college football. So let's see what he can do this year. He's got a lot of young talent, and I believe the guys at the top of this list with the young talent should have a chance to succeed. Offensive coordinator is Mike Yurich. He has 22 years of collegiate coaching experience, 15 years as an offensive coordinator. Yurich's offense is average, close to 6.5 yards per play, which ranks him first among offensive coordinators since 2013. A little tidbit of information that you might not have known. Defensive coordinator Manny Diaz. He replaces Brent Pry last year, who had decided to be the head coach over at Virginia Tech. He was the Miami head coach from 2019 to 2021. We all know that wasn't the best product. Therefore, Diaz was let go for Mario Cristobal. Their offense last year, the Nittany Lions, 35.8 points per game, puts them at 15th overall in the nation, right? They averaged 433.8 yards per game. They were 89th in red zone scoring. We had them at 17th in the nation. Between the big guns at running back, they averaged 181 rush yards per game, which is 40th overall, 252 pass yards, which left them at 45th overall. Now, last year was behind Sean Clifford. This year, it's a QB battle. But right now, the guy leading the pack is Drew Aller, former 3-star recruit, 6'5", 245 pounds. Very small sample size last year. He was 35 of 60, 344 yards, 4 touchdowns. There's about 55% completion. Really needs to improve on that. This is a number that really needs to improve. The 5.7 yards per attempt. Got to get that in the sevens. He had 18 attempts on the ground, 52 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, Allen gets the ball out fast, right? This plays big arm. He's got vertical juice, terrific velocity in the short and intermediate route situations. He's not a dual threat, but like, I said, 18-52 on a touchdown. He's capable of scrambling if the play breaks down or needs to extend it to get a first. He can do that. I mean, he's not going to run off 100 yards, but he is mobile enough to extend the play. He's got strong enough and he's timely, accurate. He can throw the ball across his body, across the hash, and make accurate throws. So he has all the intangibles and all the mechanics. Just need to see more of it this year. He's going to be battling out Bo Prabilla, who's another 3-star, 6'2", 225 pounds. He redshirted last year. He's a 2-sport athlete. He plays basketball and football. And then they get the freshman coming in, 3-star, 6'2", 200 pounds. That's Jackson Smolik. He was injured in his junior year into his senior year of high school. He's got high level efficiency. He's got good ball placement. And this gentleman can throw on the run, and he's got good movement in the pocket. Like I said, I believe Alla will be QB1, after the spring, come week 1. But we got some dogs to talk about in this backfield. And everybody knows he's that Debbie Doll. That's Nicholas Singleton, right? 6 foot, 227 pounds, 5-star recruit, and he lived up to that last year in 13 games. He had 156 attempts for 1,061 yards, 12 touchdowns. This is just crazy. 6.8 yards per carry as a true freshman. My guy is him. He had 11 receptions for 85 yards and a touchdown. He is just a violent runner, and at any moment, he has big play ability. But don't disregard the gentleman backing him up. And that's Katron Allen. He's a 4-star recruit. And in 13 games last year, he had 167 attempts for 867 yards. Another double-digit touchdowns. He had 10, right? And he averaged over 5.2 yards per carry. He had 20 receptions for $185 and a touchdown. He's got good visions, and his legs never, ever stop. Constantly moving, constantly gaining a little extra quarter yard, eighth of a yard. He's always going forward. He's got good hands. He does very well in the screen game. A1 balance. He is a yak monster. I mean, yards after contact. Let's talk about these wide receivers. The Lions went out there and got themselves a dog in the transfer portal. That's Dante Cephas. He probably had an offer from every P5 school on the market. He decided to go with Penn State. Last year at Kent State, he's a Kent State transfer, right? He had 9 games, 48 receptions, 744 yards, 3 touchdowns. He averaged 15.5 yards per catch. Let's take it back a year. Let's go to 2021. And in a 14-game sample, 82 receptions to 1,240 yards, 9 touchdowns, and again, he averaged 15.1 yards per catch. He's 6'1", 178 pounds. My man just has a way and a knack for getting open, and he can take the top off the ball if you let him. He has a little bit of a young receiving core with him. Some sophomores and some freshmen in there, but I think he'd be all right with this receiving core. That's Harrison Wallace III. He's a sophomore, 6'1", 187 pounds. He's a 3-star, right? He played in 13 games last year, 19 receptions, 273 yards, a touchdown. Another guy with just big numbers on the yards per catch, 14.4, right? Back in 2020, he decommitted from Duke, came on over to Penn State. I think you're going to see a little bit more of Harrison Wallace because both Parker Washington and Mitchell Tinsley are going to the NFL draft. So Cephas is going to be your one, but someone's got to step up. There's got to be someone to take the heat off Cephas. Wallace could be that guy. It also could be Keandre Lambert-Smith, 6'1", 181 pounds. 13 games last year, he had 24 receptions, 389 yards, 4 touchdowns, 16.2 yards per catch. My man was top dog when it came to yards per catch last year. We got another gentleman coming in here, Malik Miga, right? 6'4", 200 pounds, 300. He's a 3-star recruit. He had 3 receptions for 19 yards. He creates good separation. He's got good hands, good route tree, and he works well on the outside. This gentleman coming in, 4-star recruit this year, Malik McLean. Big-bodied receiver, 6'1", 205, right? He runs a 4.5 40. He's a good run blocker, and he makes athletic, acrobatic catches look easy. I want to see what he does in spring. I have a funny feeling you're gonna be hearing Eminem early on in these spring games. He's probably going to work himself into a week 1 player. tight end position, losing Brendan Strange going to the NFL. You have another gentleman who I thought would play better last year and maybe give Strange a little bit of run of his money. That would be Theo Johnson, 6'6", 250 pounds. In 11 games last year, he had 20 receptions, 328 yards, 16.4 yards per catch, 4 touchdowns. All right. They brought in the freshman, Joey Shalife, 6'6", 250 pounds. He's a 4-star. Then they got this gentleman. He's a straight athlete. Going to be running. He's going to be a tight end for them. But he 24/7 got him as an athlete. He's a 4-star. It's Matthias Barnwell, 6'6", 250 pounds at 18 years old. He's an inline tight end. He run block elite. He got some soft hands, so those block and rolling out on screens should work well for him. It's a good chance you could see him get on the field early. I'll take it to the other side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball. 18.2 points per game last year. Got him at 9th overall in the nation. They allowed 323.8 yards per game, which was 14th. They only allowed 112 rush yards. Got him in the top 20 in the nation. 211 pass yards per game, which was 36. And that take rate ratio was +2 for the defense, 8th overall in the country. Now, they lost some gentlemen, obviously in the secondary, lose Joey Porter. But on the edge, they got a junior and a sophomore. The junior is Armin Vanover, 6'4", 275 pounds. In 13 games last year, had 16 tackles, 9 solo, 4.5 tackles for loss, a sack, and 3 pass defenses. Then he had, this is my guy. I think this gentleman's going to blow up and get on the scene. Danny Dennis Sutton, 6'5", 254 pounds. He's a sophomore. In 13 games, he had 17 tackles, 11 solo, 5.5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. He had a pick and a pass defense. The man got 17 total tackles. 5.5 of those tackles were for loss, and then another 3 of them were sack. 8.5 out of the 17 were for negative yardage. This is a man you want to look for. And at 6'5", 254 pounds, he moves laterally well. You're going to hear a lot of Dennis Sutton this year for Nittany Lions. Now, defensive tackles, we got Zane Durant, sophomore, 6'1", 275 pounds, 13 games. He was a backup last year. He had 5 tackles, 1 solo tackle for loss in the sack. But 5 tackles total, and out of the 5, you had a tackle for loss in the sack. Seems like he might have a little nose for getting them negative plays against the offense. Devon Ellis, senior, 6'4", 301 pounds in 13 games last year. He had 15 tackles, 6 solo, 2 tackles for loss, sack, pass defense, and a fumble, a forced fumble. So the guys, dirt dogs on the line, they're doing their thing. They're young, but I do believe that you're going to hear a lot of Danny Dennis Sutton. DDS, so I'm going to give him as a nickname. DDS is about to perform big for the Nittany Lions. Now, go down these linebackers, right? We got Keanu Wiley, sophomore, 6'2", 218 pounds. He only played 4 games last year, 2 tackles, solo tackle, half tackle for loss, half sack. Tyler Elzen, 6'2", 229 pounds. He's a junior, right? 13 games. He had 44 tackles, 26 solo, 3.5 tackles for loss, and a sack. Then they got this guy, Dominic DeLuca, who I think is going to be the name you're going to hear a lot about this year. He's a sophomore, 6'1", 205 pounds. He could be that middle linebacker clogging up the holes. In 13 games last year, he had 29 tackles, 18 solo. You look at that, 70% of his tackles was by himself. 2 tackles, lost a sack, and a pass defense. They brought in these 2 freshmen. And these guys in the portals, the recruiting process, these guys are just straight dogs. Tony Rojas, right? Freshman. 6'1", 200 pounds, a 4-star recruit. He was a 4'6", 40. He's a 2-sport athlete. He has incredible instincts and bends well around the edge, and he can shoot the gap. Tamir Robinson, another freshman, 6'4", 225 pounds. He's a 4-star. As a junior in high school, he had a UCL and MCL injury. I believe he's past that now, right? He's 3-sport athlete, not 2. Track, basketball, and football. He gets downhill fast, and he can dip around the edge. He can chase and run, and he's a good run defender. He moves laterally pretty well. Now, I don't know if the UCL-MCL injury will affect him at the next level, but obviously, as he still has a 4-star status, I think he's kind of past that. Let's keep an eye on Tamir Robinson this year for Nittany Lions. Now, at DB, there's a couple gentlemen, in the secondary, I got a guy in the safety position that I'm all in on as a freshman, but you want to talk DBs, this guy's name is just perfect for football. That's Storm Duck, transferred from UNC. Last year at UNC, it was Storm Duck and Tony Grimes, and both of these gentlemen just ate all season. He's 6 foot, 205 pounds. He's coming as a senior, right? In 12 games last year, 36, he has 46 tackles, 36 of those were solo. He had 9 pass defense, 3 picks, and a forced fumble. Now, they were throwing it at Duck because Tony Grimes was a dude. My guy did not disappoint, okay? Again, another guy with 75% of his tackles all solo. Doesn't need no help. You could put him on an island. He could do his thing. You also got Cam Miller, 6'1", 205 pounds. QB turned DB. On 11 games last year, he had 5 tackles, 3 solo. Freshman coming in, Lamont Payne, 4-star recruit, 6'1", 170 pounds, right? In 100 meter, my man got the motor. Ran 11.5 in 100 meter. He got a high football IQ. He can open up them hips and run with any wide receiver and mirror them right down the sideline. He's got a smooth back pedal. He can press and switch out very quickly. Another guy coming in freshman, Zion Tracy. He's 5'11", 180 pounds. Another 4-star. Let's hit these safeties. I can't wait to talk about my freshman recruit coming in here. But the 2 gentlemen returning, sophomore Zaik Wheatley, 6'2", 190 pounds. He's a sophomore, right? 13 games. He had 27 tackles, 21 solo. It's 80%, high 80%, all solo tackles. 2 picks, pass defense, and a forced fumble. And you got Jalen Reed Jr., 6 foot, 213. 13 games last year. He had 31 tackles, 23 solo, 2 tackles lost, 3 pass defenses. Let's get to my guy. Right, freshman coming in, 5'11", 180 pounds, 4-star recruit. It offers in Michigan State, Charlotte, Boston College, Arkansas. My man chose Penn State. My man goes by the name of King Mack, okay? 4-star recruit, like I said, he's got great ball instincts and ball hawking skills. He's got lateral movement very quick. Give him sideline to sideline cover, anything in the secondary quickly, right? He hits hard, looking for them snot bubbles. And 24/7 rivals on 3, they comping him to Buda Baker coming in as a freshman. Please, people, go out there, get some film study on King Mack, because in this coming out of spring, he is going to be a name that you're going to be hearing a lot about. On the special teams side, and not many people covering it, but they did have 2 transfers. And it's very odd that you have special teams transfers. Bradley Thompson, punter, came on over to Penn State, transfers from FAU. Then Alex Felkins, kicker, transfer from Columbia. So I just want to throw out those special teams guys to you. Now, do I think the Nittany Lions can go on 11-2 this year? No. I think there'll be a little bit of a step back. Too much youth on the team. Too many questions. Who will replace Joey Porter? Can Drew Allah fill the shoes of Sean Clifford this year? Obviously, the running backs will dominate. They did it as the youth with freshman and sophomore. They both of them are freshmen. Actually, they'll be sophomores this year. I think they can both just continue to grow and dominate some more. Can Franklin get the best out of this youthful team? I think he can. I'm going to go with 9 wins for me. 9 wins, I think, will lock it up. Can Dante Cephas take the next step? Will it be Drew Allah to Dante Cephas as a deadly combo this season for the Nittany Lions? Like I said, Cephas had multiple offers, multiple P5 schools, and chose Penn State. You're going to go to the Big Ten. You get your name out there. You better step up and perform. I'm going to need to see, 70 receptions, close to 1,000 yards, and double-digit touchdowns. And if Allah wants to put his name out there with these young QBs, he better get up there and 20+ touchdowns, close to 3,000 yards. I'm gonna need a bigger sample size out of you, and I'm gonna need some dominant weeks, especially against these small teams. So this is all we got this week for P2P, Penn State. I'm gonna see what my co-host Boomer wants to get into next week, and this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna be breaking down teams right up until probably middle of spring practices and games, and then we'll go a different route. But follow me on the Twitter at Nino Brown _T2T. Follow CFB Nation on the Twitter at CFB Nation. And then also follow Toads Titles at Toads Titles on the Twitter. And then check us out on the YouTube, same names. Give us a like, subscribe, hit that bell so you know when we're going live. Once again, we out. Thank you. We appreciate you. Any questions? Any teams that you want broken down and reviewed? Leave us a comment. Shoot us a DM, and we'll get it out to you. Once again, appreciate you. And until next time.